So let's start our today's session. So before going to start the session, so please confirm everyone having AWS account. Everyone created the AWS account. If you created, just say yes. Otherwise, just say no. Anything. Okay. So yeah, one more thing. Who are newly joined, please collect the yesterday class recording and yeah, demo class recording. Okay. So we had completed two classes. One is a DevOps demo, another one is AWS demo, right? So and please create your AWS account. Okay. So these three things just complete it. Okay. So yeah, I want everyone to create AWS account, use this Saturday and Sunday and make it ready. Okay, for Monday at least. Okay. So yeah. So that's about the yeah initial things. Okay. So please collect class recordings and come as much as possible. Please create your AWS account. So yeah. So let me connect to the AWS account. So if you want to connect to it, you can log into aws.amazon.com and you can click on sign in. Right, this is the website, right? aws.amazon.com. So as we discussed yesterday, AWS is one of the cloud service provider, right? So AWS is Amazon Web Services, right? So we're calling it is one of the cloud service provider, right? So that means what it can provide. So it can provide the services for the right for the rent, right? So you can create a servers for the rent, and you can pay the servers how much you have used, right? So for example, if you use for 1 hour, you have to pay 1 hour bill. If you use for 2 hours, you have to pay 2 hours bill based on the uses, right? So so not only AWS, we have other clouds as we discussed yesterday. We have AWS, we have Azure, we have GCP, right? So and we have AWS. So AWS means Amazon Web Services, GCP, Google Cloud Platform comes from the Google itself, right? So Google Cloud Platform, and we have Azure. Azure is comes from which one? Which one? Microsoft, right? So we have three major public clouds, right? So cloud service providers. So these are these three, right? Public providers. So these are public providers. That means so everyone can use it. Public can use it, right? So here it is. So let's sign into the console. I have my account. So if you are not having AWS account, just go through this web page, AWS account creation. I shared yesterday. So use this one, use this page and create it. You need to have only one thing. You need to have the credit card or debit card. AWS team will deduct 2 rupees from your AWS your credit card, and you need to have the email, and you have to confirm your you can confirm the okay. So just follow this page. Yeah, who are created? That's good. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Account creation. I hope. I think most of the people are created. I can see very few are didn't created it. So use this page and create it. Okay, like Charan, right? Farooq, everyone, other people. Just create it. Make it ready. Okay, Srikanth and everyone. Okay, so just use that and also use the yesterday class recording. Okay, so you can sign into the console once you go to aws.amazon.com, right? You have to click on sign in. So actually I connected already. That's why I directly connected. Okay. So that actually, if you log into aws.amazon.com, you have a sign in option. You have a sign in option. Here, if you know not having account, you can just click on create AWS account, new one. If you have, just provide the email ID and you have to provide the next step password. Once you provide password, you can connect to your AWS account. So this is the AWS account. You can see AWS account details, your account details. So this is the account name, one of my student account. So this is account ID. AWS account ID is 12 digits. Okay, this is the ID, and these are the account details. And these are the regions. AWS having regions, that means data centers in different regions. Okay, we have North Virginia region, Mumbai region, Seoul, Singapore region. That means AWS having data centers. If you go to AWS global infrastructure, right? So AWS having data centers, you can see global map in different locations, right? So we have green color, right? So that means AWS having data centers here. Red color, that means AWS going to establish. Okay, you can see Auckland, that means New Zealand. So Auckland will have going, I mean, New Zealand going to establish, AWS going to establish in Auckland. Okay, so we have India. In India, Hyderabad is there, and we have Mumbai. Okay, two major data centers in India. Okay, so anyway, so that's about data centers. Okay, so consider this is Mumbai. Okay, this is entire Mumbai. In entire Mumbai, if you observe, how many data centers? Three, right? If you see three availability zones. Three availability zones is nothing but three data centers. One, two. I hope you got it. Why? Because three high availability. If your server actually in the organization, application servers will be not only one, it will be one more. Okay, one or more. That means why? Because if you see the distance, this is one data center, DC1, this is DC2, and this is DC3. The distance is minimum 100 kilometers between data centers. So this is under Mumbai region. Okay, so if users are connecting to this application server, this application server, right? So if any one of the region is some earthquake or any disaster is happen, what will happen? This power cut is, for example, happen in this data center. This data center. So all the requests from right, all the requests will be automatically redirected. This request will redirect right to this server. Why? Because here server is not accessible, and here power cut is there. But why here still there? Because it is a individual, all are individual data centers. Okay, and the distance is minimum 100 kilometers. There is no interlinking between them. Okay, automatically all the requests will be redirected. Okay, for highly available application, for high availability, we call it as high availability. And also AWS providing scalability. That means, for example, right, whatever the region, this server is crashed. So if you put down a condition like whenever one server is crashed, but I want my servers to be maintained minimum three. Okay, so if it is crashed, automatically another one is getting created based on the condition. Using some AWS service like auto scaling is one of the service which will automatically scale up the server, scale up the instance. Okay, so we have regions and we have availability zones. So if you see almost 32 launched regions, one or two availability zones. That means one region may have two, three or more availability zones. If you see, okay. So currently I'm in which region? over here. That means US East to 2. Each one will have a ID. For example, here you can see Mumbai is a AP South on Asia Pacific. Okay, right? So I would suggest please use only one region. Please connect to only one region. Don't go for multiple. Why? Because so if you forgot something in one region, right? Because all are region specific. If you created EC2, if you create a server in, for example, Mumbai, if you want to see that in North Virginia, it is not possible. If you created here and yesterday you logged into North Virginia and you want to see that servers, you cannot, and you will realize there is nothing, but some billing will be happening. Okay, so it's not completely free. If you see, this is a billing dashboard. Here you can see the billing. Okay, here you can see the billing. This is a billing dashboard, and it will have right bills. You can see this is the AWS billing dashboard. So for the month of, if you see, month of November, I got billed of 0.01 US dollars, and if you see October, how much I got billed 2.78 for service from Elastic Compute Cloud. Right, you can see Mumbai and North Virginia. I got billed of some money, right? Yeah, you can see for which region you got billed how much and which service is taken this much of amount, right? So you can see. Anyway, let's go back, right? So here these are the this is the settings, right? Right now I'm using light mode. We have dark mode. Want to go for dark mode? This is dark mode, light mode. Okay, and we have the support. You can talk with AWS if you have any issues. You can create a ticket, right? You can go for your AWS documentation. This is connecting with AWS support if you have any issues. Okay, and this is notifications. If any maintenance, for example, AWS refreshing this, right? Remind increasing this data center, for example, expanding there. So sometimes they will send out a notification to you. You can see that notification here. Okay, or you can see events logs. Right, this is the AWS health. Okay, if any issues are happening, you can see here. Okay, for the which whatever the region. Okay, this is event log. Okay, from AWS. So recently AWS having issue on November 10th, right, which is closed, but operational issue. What is their operational issue? You can see the data here also. Okay, some seven. The this is the right description. Okay, and they mentioned we are investigating, right? So this is the issue, and is resolved. You can see severity is resolved. Like anyway, and next, what is this? This is Cloud Shell, where you will run a commands to manage your AWS account. Okay, this is command line. Okay, so right now we are seeing this is GUI, but if you want to do from command line, this is command line. Okay, and this is search bar, where you can search for the services, where you can search for the different services, whatever you required, right? So if you want to go for S3 storage service, you can see storage service. Okay, if you want to go for server creation, let's go for EC2 service. If you want to go for networking, you can go for okay. And this is for search bar. If you know the services, if you don't know, you want to see what are the different services in AWS, you can click on service. So simple term, service is nothing but a future. Service is nothing but a future. So they are providing, okay, they are providing some service to you. So how? You, based on these names, you can see. So we have list of services. If you are coming from the analytical background, these are the analytical services. Some Athena, clean rooms, cloud search, data exchange, data pipeline, data zone, EMR. And if you are coming from the application integration team, these are the application integration services, right? This is AWS cost management service. This is blockchain related. This is business application. These are business applications. If you're coming from the database team, these are all database services. Okay. So, for example, right? So, if you are coming from the machine learning background, these are all machine learning related services. Sorry, earlier there were less, but now if you see a lot of services are added because, yeah, so machine learning having some good, good number of services recently they added. And if you're coming from the robotics background, if you're coming from the satellite background, storage, there are few only working on storage related also. Okay, so these are all services provided by AWS. So based on the services also, services are three types they're providing. Okay, infrastructure as a service. This will be entry question. Okay, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. Okay, platform as a service. They're providing. Okay, infrastructure as a service means like you will get servers, right? There is infra storage that is part of infrastructure. You can connect to AWS data center. If you see AWS data centers, how it look like, you can see these are the AWS data centers where servers kept like this. Okay, nothing but a rooms, right? Having servers and managed by AWS. You can see they are managing. They are checking if the any issues happening. Servers will be like this. Okay, and they are keeping it in a room with AC, infrastructure, right? Maintenance, everything. Okay, you no need to purchase this. If you want to purchase, it will one at least take 4 lakhs plus. Okay, so based on the RAM size also, if you are using, for example, 500 GB RAM for this. So based on the RAM also, the price will be different. Okay, but these are the servers. We'll call it as. Okay, so yeah, it will be look like this. They're maintaining and they're managing, and you are connecting from your AWS account, and you will connect to this large server, and you will create a small micro servers. How to create? I will show that. Okay, so you can create a servers. You can create a storage by using infrastructure as a service, and we have software as a service. Software as a service is nothing but if you are creating RDS, if you want database, you can go for RDS. Okay, if you want to create a database server, you need to purchase some software like Oracle software. You need to purchase, but AWS is giving an option. You no need to purchase it because they are giving software as a free. So this is software. If you want Oracle software, you can select it. If you want Oracle version, there are a lot of versions are available. Okay, we will call it as engine versions of Oracle. Okay, 22, 10 version, 1 version, right, 4, right. So software also they provide software as a service. Like example, like RDS database, right? They are providing through which service? RDS service. Servers, how you are getting? By using EC2 service. Storage, how you are getting? From the some S3 service. Okay, and platform as a service is nothing but, okay, so we are using, right, for example, plus java plus Linux, for example. So this is one platform in Linux server. Java is running. Okay, so they are providing platform also. You don't need to create a Linux server. You don't need to connect. You don't need to install Java, right? They're providing platform also as a service. Some Elastic Bean Stack is one of the service. Elastic Bean Stack. So how where it is? You can see Elastic Bean Stack. So here you can manage your web applications. You can create the infrastructure. You can create a platforms, right? So that's about the service types. We'll call it as, right, service models. Okay, service models by AWS, right? So based on the cloud, right? Based on the users, clouds are also three types. As I said, these are public clouds, right? So right here, right? So we have private clouds as well. That means own clouds. Okay, public means everyone can use. Private means only you can. That means your cloud, right? Your servers. You are maintaining the data center. You have taken one room for rent. There you kept some servers. We'll call it as private clouds are own servers or on-premises servers. Okay, right? This is Mumbai data center from AWS. You're connecting and utilizing, right? And for example, if you have your own data center, if you are maintaining servers there, okay, nothing but private clouds. Okay, few companies maintaining their own because they are comes from very long, like Oracle. They have their own data center, right? So, for example, few companies have their own data center but still using AWS or Azure. Why? Because they have very less servers in the their data center. Okay, so they are using both on, right, public and private, both they are using. So we'll call this type of utilization is nothing but hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but combination of both. If any company using combination, right, their usage is nothing but hybrid cloud usage. Okay, combination of public plus private. So this will be main interview questions, right? So types of cloud providers, major public providers are three, and types of clouds. This will be interview question, and the service model, right? Types of clouds and service models, right? So right, and what is region? Region is nothing but uh, group of data centers, group of DCs, and availability zone is nothing but we already see this already, right? So data center is nothing but individual availability zone is nothing but individual data center. Okay, the power is separate, storage is separate, everything is separate. Okay, so please note it down. I will give some 2 minutes. Just note it down. Just note down. Service models and types of clouds, right? And the regions. So we'll start EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay. So the first service in AWS. Okay, first from service from AWS. Very interesting. Okay. Elastic Compute Cloud. We'll call it as EC2, the terminology. Why? Because here E, the next term is C, and next term is C. C repeated for two times, that way EC2. Okay, and right, using this service, EC2 service, you can create servers in AWS. We are calling server, but AWS team calling it as instance. Okay, servers, instances, any name is same. If you comes to Azure, they're calling it as virtual machine. That is their terminology. Okay, AWS terminology is instances. If you comes to Azure, they are calling it as virtual machine. And if you comes to engine, come everything is same. Okay, Google team calling it as GCP. Okay, is calling it as engine. If you see VM, machine, device, right, server, right, anything is same. Okay, we'll call it as instance, we'll call it as server, we'll call it as virtual machine, engine, anything is same. Okay, so just note down. Okay, so let's go and understand about AWS EC2 service. How, where you can find out? You can find out in the compute section. Okay, here you can see EC2. Or if you want to make it as high bookmark like this, if you click on star, it will comes to here. That means so you can No need to every time go to search bar and search like this, right? Services tab, or you have a service tab, right? Search tab also. You can check here also. Okay. So anyway, let's go to EC2. You can see the name, right? If you click on EC2, this is a EC2 dashboard. Here you can see how many servers are running, right? And how many servers are there, how many security groups are there, right? So, and if you see, EC2 is a service for virtual servers. Virtual means which you are not able to see, right? But which are existing, right? Virtual means you are not able to see, but which are existing. This is EC2 dashboard. Just click on instances. Just click on instances. Just click on instances. Okay, instances are nothing but servers, as I told you, right? So, but any server running here, you don't have any servers running this region. Which region? North region. Same process. If you want to create a server, what you are doing basically, what if you want to purchase, for example, if you want to purchase a laptop or if you purchase a computer, right? What you will do basically, you will go to a showroom and you are asking, I want some 10 GB, 12 GB RAM server or 8 GB RAM server. I want hard disk. I want 2 TB, 1 TB hard disk or 2 TB hard disk, 500 GB hard disk. And you will ask, I want some Windows operating system or Linux operating system, right? You call it as OS. And you will ask the, I want some username and password, right? Right? So I want this username and password, right? So you will set up, right? So this is the main thing you once you go to a company for purchasing a laptop. And but come to this, you are a DevOps engineer or you are a cloud engineer, you are going to create. That means you, right, there are some settings you need to select. I want this RAM. You will get these details from whom? From the client, from the customer. So from the customer, you will get these details. So you will get these details from the customer. Like, so you will launch. If you want to create a server in AWS, just click on launch instance. Just click on launch instance. So whenever you click on launch instance, right, you can see the list of options, right? You can just see launch instance, right? So it's look like this if you observe. So meanwhile, could you please note on this is the logo of AWS. You can see A to ES, Amazon, right? Some A to Z like that. And these are the account details and this is region details, right? And just note it down. Okay. So yeah, so you have the options. So how many number of servers you want to create? If you want to create two, just mention two. If you want to create three, just mention three, right? If you want to create one server, just mention number of servers are one. Okay. And this is the web server name. That means your server name, you need to mention your server. For example, I want to create a server called some Charan, for example. Right? This is the name. Or if you want to create some Sunil server, just mention the name here. Okay, and which OS you want to create. If you want to create Amazon Linux OS, just select Amazon Linux OS. If you want to create a Ubuntu server or if you want to create a Windows server, just select the server Windows. Okay, this is if you want Windows, within the Windows, I want 2019, I want 2016, I want 2022, right? So there are, right? So the OS names, right? So which OS you want to create. And you have RAM size. For example, I mentioned the name Sunil server and I want Windows operating system and I want instance type, I want 1 GB RAM. I want 1 GB RAM. And next thing, you have options, different options. If you want 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, right? You can choose like RAM. You can choose. You can choose OS. You can choose, right, username and password. But AWS username is password is in the form of file. We'll call it as PEM file. This file. Okay. password. These are files I already have in my system. But if you want to create new, just click on create new. This is a password file. Okay, test for example, test 123. You can create. You can see getting create. So that's okay. And this is networking settings, which are not required now. Let me leave like this. This is the password file. You can see. Right, this is the password file. Password file looks like this. This is very big file with encrypted data. So how it will be decrypted? AWS can decrypt this. You need to upload and they can decrypt it. Okay. So and this is hard disk. So you are creating Windows server. For Windows, you are using how much? 30 GB seat. Okay, that's launched. I want only one server as of now. Right, you can see it is launching. It is launched and it generated one ID. In AWS, everything will have a ID. We will call it as instance ID. Okay. So this is instance ID. If you create a database, there is a database ID for identification purpose. If you go to EC2s back, if you refresh, this is the dashboard. You can see one server is there. Right. If you go to instances, if you refresh here, Sunil server is created. Right. This is ID. This is pending state. You should wait for some time. This is T2.micro, the RAM size, right? You selected 1 GB RAM. This is the IP address, private IP, and this is launch date when it is launched, right? And these are the details. These are the details of the server. Okay, so you can see it is done. If you are right, if the server is running state only, you need to pay the money. Okay, so there are different states for the EC2 instance. We have instant, we will call it as instance states, server states. Okay, we have running, you need to pay the money. And if you stopped, if you go to, if you stop at the server, okay, let me launch Linux instance as well. Let me click on launch instance again. Same, I want number of servers are one. I want, for example, some Kumar server. I want Amazon Linux. So Linux is different types of Linux are there, like Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Linux, Red Hat Linux, right? So SUSE Linux, right? So there are different Linux. I want Amazon Linux. I want 1 GB RAM. The term is T2.micro. And I want to use existing password like test123, which I created. That's it. This is storage. Let's leave it as it is. Launch. Now it is creating Linux server. So, right, you can see this is Linux server. Let's make it as Linux. Just click on pencil symbol and make it as Linux. And click on this pencil symbol and make it as Windows, right? This is Sunil Windows, right? This is Kumar server Linux, right? It is pending state. Okay, so in pending state, you don't need to pay any money to AWS. Pending state, okay, stopped state, and terminated state, shutdown state, right? So these states you need to pay money, but if your server is stopped and running state, you need to pay money to AWS. Okay, so running means you are using. Stopping means it is stopping and it is taking long time for stop because it is your right based on your applications, based on your applications running there. Okay, so this is Kumar server Linux. This is Sunil Windows. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I want to connect to Windows server. Okay, and my Windows server having how much storage? 30 GB. You can see here 30 GB seat. And my Linux server having how much the storage? 8 GB volume size. So we are calling server is instance, right? And we are calling disk, C disk. They're calling, we are calling disk, but they're calling which name? They're calling volume. You see, they're calling volume. Okay, so but we are calling disk their terminology. Okay, their terminology will be slight different. Okay, but if you adjust it to this terminology, if someone saying instance, okay, so yeah, you will think this is a server, right? So you have to app to the terminologies. Okay, so anyway, this is Windows. If you want to connect to Linux, you can select the Linux server, click on connect. You have an instance states tab. If you want to stop, reboot, terminate, you have the different options. Okay, so anyway, I want to connect to the Kumar Linux. Okay, and one more thing, guys. Tomorrow also we have session. Okay, tomorrow also we have session, and okay, by yeah, by Monday, maybe the link get changed. Okay, you if anyone not enrolled yet, just check with management. But tomorrow we have session. Use the same link. Okay, by Monday we'll change the link and management will change the link and you have to check with them. Okay. Anyway, okay. So this is the Linux server, right? So this is Kumar Linux. Just connect, right? EC2 instance connectivity, right? You can click on connect, right? Yeah, sorry. Link will be changed to by tomorrow. Okay, please check with management and collect it. And yeah, uh, tomorrow also we have session with the new link. Please check with them and collect the new link. Okay. So right, this is Linux server. What I did basically for connecting, just select the server, click on connect. I just used this instance connectivity. Okay, this is the IP address of the server. This is the username I'm connecting, and just click on connect. Right, this is the login page. This is login message because you are using Amazon Linux operating system. And this is the username. This is the IP address. So we'll see in Linux classes. Okay, so if you see here, I want to see time in Linux server. What is the time now? This is system time, but I want to see the date. This is date and time combination. Friday, November 17th, and this is the UTC timing because you are in North Virginia. Okay, so this is the UTC timing. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let me connect to the Windows also. Right, just click on connect, and you have a RDP client section, and just click on download this file. Okay, right, and you can open this file. Username is administrator. Okay, just click on connect. Okay, username is administrator. Password, you can upload that file by click on get password. Upload your test key file, test123, and decrypt. This is the pass. Okay, this is comes from the AWS. Just provide the password here and click on this. You can see it is connecting. This is AWS. Okay, so what you have done basically, you have created AWS Windows Server, Linux Server, Windows Server having right C drive of 30 GB, right, 30 GB, and this is your Linux server having primary disk of 8 GB. Okay, 8 GB, right. So anyway, if you want to stop the server, you have the option, right? If you see, you have, if you want to stop, just select the server, go to instance state and stop it. If you click on stop, it will get stopped. But if someone by mistakenly stopped also, it will get stopped, right, if this option is enabled. But how to make it protection? You have to go to actions, right? You have instance settings, you have change stop protection. Just click on here and enable stop protection. If you enable it, if you save it, protection is enabled. If you try to stop it now, what will happen? Let's see. There is a error, fail to stop. Okay, so you enable a protection. For example, if you want to disable that, just click on again, go to actions, instance settings. You have change stop protection. You can save it, disable and save it. Now, if you want to stop it, you click on stop. It is going to, right, stopping state. You need to pay money at the time of stopping state, as I said, right? And right, it is getting stopping to stopped state. It will go to stopped state from stopping, if you see. Okay, so because you stop it, how you stop it? Go to instance state and you have stopped. Right, it is taking some time. Okay, let's wait. So meanwhile, this is your Windows server, right? And it should have C drive of 30 GB, right? You can go here, right? You can see this PC C drive 30 GB. Okay, so if you want to add additional GB of 50 GB as D drive, how you will add it? You have this storage section. You have this volume of a, right? If you see, this is for Windows, right? How much? 30 GB. But where all these are maintaining? So there is another service called volumes where all the disks will be managed. You can see EC2 feature. Okay, and this is your volumes list. These are the volumes. There are two volumes. One is 30 GB volume and 8 GB volume. 30 GB is Sunil Windows Server volume. Okay, just make it the name. Okay. Windows C drive. Okay, all right. And this is volume ID. As I said, everything will have a ID. Volume ID, instance ID, storage ID, right? Network ID. Everything will have a ID. Okay, this is 30 GB. 100 IOPS is the speed. Okay, and this is what? Second one is Linux related. Okay, let's mention. So Linux drive. Okay, so anyway, this is Windows C drive, right? If you want to create another drive, how you will create? How to attach? So, and you should know your server is running under which region, which availability zone. Okay, your Windows server is running under, you can see here, go to network, under availability zone 1A. Okay, 1A availability zone. As I said, three major availabilities. One, right, 1, 2, 3 availability zone. North Virginia region, major three availability zone. It is running under 1A. You should create second disk also 1A. If you see, my first disk is running under 1A, right? You assist 1A. And your D drive also should be created. Click on create volume. I want 50 GB disk. It should be created under 1A. There are actually 7 availability zones in North Virginia. Okay. So I want to create it 1A because my server is running under 1A. Okay. Okay. Because my Windows server is running in 1A. Okay. For example, if your server is running in 1A and your volume is under 1B, if you, right? So this is, for example, you assist 1A, 1A. This is you assist 1B, hyphen 1B. So if your disk is here, if you want to attach, it is not possible because the connectivity using cables. Okay, if you are in this data center, if you have a volume, you can simply attach it. Why? Because both are cably attached. And if you want to attach, but the data center's distance minimum, I said 100 kilometers. It is not possible to establish, right, connection with cables. Minimum 100-kilometer distance. It is not possible to attach. Okay. So anyway, that's why I said create volume also under 1A. How much? 50 G. Provide a name. Name is D drive, right? And save. Now you have created a D drive, right? It is creating state. Let's refresh. Available state, right? Which is available, but which is not linked to Windows. You have to link it. You have to select it, right? Go to actions. You have an option called attach, and you need to select the server. Which server? Windows. Okay, just select the Windows and attach. Now if you see in use, earlier it is available. Now if you go to server list, this is the Windows. Are you able to see the D drive? No. You have to right click here in the start button, right? And you have to go to disk management, right? And here you can see that 50 GB. But this is unallocated. This is offline. You need to right click. You need to make it online. You need to make it currently not initialized. Make it initialized. Are you getting right? Are you getting right? So in the organization level also, if you got similar kind of request, you need to do like this. Okay, so like you will receive the. I mean, if you are a junior guy, if you are supporting the environments, okay, supporting the environment, uh, yeah, environment is nothing but some account. Okay, we'll say development account, a UAT account, a production account, right? So environment, the complete set. Environment is nothing but five or more, not one server, more than four, more than five. That's complete infrastructure. Okay, for one client or one customer. Anyway, you will get similar kind of request. Okay, this is online now, right? And you need to make it this 50 GB as a volume. Just click on right click and click on new simple volume. Click on next. No need to change anything. This is 500 MB. That means 50 GB. Next. Which drive letter? If you want to use drive letter K, or if you want to use drive letter R or V, S, any letter P, right? You can select. I want drive letter some Z, and I want to click on next. Next. You can see here D drive. Your D drive is, you got the D drive, right? So if you don't want similar process, you need to make it as offline. You need to, right? You can see this is not there. After that, if you don't want this, you can go to actions, right? You can detach it from the AWS. Select it. Go to actions. You need to detach. Once it is come to available state, right? You can, if you don't want, you can delete it. Like you will delete like this volumes, right? So there are two volumes, that is Windows C drive, Linux drive. These will be deleted once you deleted the server. Why? Because at the time of server creation, the option is uh, selected with the instance itself, so it will be removed. Okay, anyway, just select the servers. If you want to delete, right click here, right? If you want to delete all the servers at a time, right, you can select like this, and you can go to instance state, and you can terminate. And again, if you want to mention, right, provide termination protection, you have instance settings, you have termination protection also. This termination protection. If you enable this, if people want to terminate, it will not them to terminate. Okay. Anyway, let me terminate. I don't want it. So I want you people to please delete the servers after your practical. After your practical, please delete once your practical is completed. Okay. Right. So yeah, quick note. So by tomorrow onwards, link will be changed. Who are not enrolled yet, please check with them and enroll. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow we have session. From Monday onwards, we have the networking concepts, which are very interesting and important sessions. Okay, don't miss it. So any questions or any doubts?
Hi, Raju. Oh,
Yeah, tell me.
yeah. So you see, with everything that you have demoed, um, say for example, someone goes on a job. Um, do you have like a sample, maybe document where the client would have requested what they wanted, or is it going to be the consulting firm or the implementation firm that will build the requirements around the setup for these instances?
You mean you are looking for what?
So you see, you know how you set up the whole AWS, the servers, you set up everything that you've set up now, the configuration, how many GB, all of that. Um, do you have a sample document that, like, a sample document, say, in real life, where a client has given the specifications for these things? Or is it the implementation partner? You made use of example of SBI and then
Yeah.
Wipro,
So
or is it
yeah, got it. Yeah.
okay? Is it
Uh,
Wipro that would advise them?
so I mentioned at the time of server creation. Yeah, this is the very important thing. Okay, so yeah, so at the time of server creation, I mentioned you need to select the disk, you need to select some RAM, hard disk, right? This is for your practical. Okay, but in organization level, they are maintaining some sizes. Okay, for example, some medium, low, some high, like that. So it is your application. Okay, for example, it is your specific application, your company developed that, and you're selling to someone. Okay, so you have to the sales team will be there. That sales team will be asking and got the requirement from the client, from the customer. Like if you have 100 users, just go for some 12 GB RAM or 18 GB RAM, like that. They will just provide some suggestions, and based on their details, like if they mention our employees are okay with the Windows OS, please create Windows. So you will get a specifications from the customers. Okay, but we will maintain our customized methodologies. Right, we have our own sheet which is supporting. For example, your laptop can support 4 GB RAM starting with. Okay, compatibility. So, but it can be increased to whatever you want. In the same process, if customers, our basic model will be 4 GB, but it can be extendable to whatever it wants. So, the requirement you will get it from the customers, and you will create the server. So, this is very, I mean, the most of the thing companies will have a sales team. They will have approach. They will have contact with the customers.
Okay, thank you. Do you have like a sample of the kind of specification documents?
I will show tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please collect new class recording, and we can class link by tomorrow. We can connect. Thank you.